It's been 6 months since a Norfolk Southern train derailed in the community of East Palestine, Ohio, spilling thousands of gallons of toxic materials. The spill damaged the environment and left some evacuated families in limbo. Now, half a year later, cleanup continues, and the long-term health implications of the derailment remain unknown. Joining us now for more, Cincinnati Enquirer health reporter Brooks Sutherland. Brooks, I'm so glad we're still talking about this and focused on it because it was such a huge disaster, and one that, of course, you may recall, our viewers may recall, took a little while for much of the country to pick up on, but it caused so much chaos in that community. And how has it rebounded since the derailment? Are there any signs the environment is improving in that area?
Hey guys, thanks for having me. And there is some evidence that things are getting better. You know, when I first went down there on February 13th, the first thing that you can notice is a pretty bad smell near the railroad tracks over there. I went back last week, and that's kind of subsided. You don't notice it. There's signs of aquatic life returning to the Leslie and Sulphur runs. You know, there were 40,000 fish that had died when the derailment happened, the chemical burn happened. The EPA and the Ohio DNR have reported that they've found the rare endangered hellbender salamander that sprouted out. So things are starting to bounce back. And you know, talking to residents, I think that they're getting towards that place, but there's certainly signs that, you know, something happened.
You know, when this happened, I thought there are people that no matter what you tell them, they're never going to feel comfortable coming back there to live. You've been talking to residents. What are they saying that the community is like now?
So initially, when this derailment happened, 200 families just sold their house and got up and left. And you think about a village of 4,700 people, that's a lot of people to leave your community. However, you know, being back there recently, and I've been there 4 times now. My colleague Karen Osley and I have been out there numerous times. There are some people that are moving back. They've seen it as a place that, you know, they found cheap housing. It's a community that they sort of fit in with. So, you know, even as this has all gone on, there was an initial wave of people moving out. There's now been some people that, you know, just over the Pennsylvania border that have moved back. The 4th of July parade, sorry, the ceremony, they had a ceremony in the park with fireworks. There were so many people that the mayor at a city council meeting, you know, voiced concern about allowing alcohol in the park. I mean, it really has sort of bounced back. But, you know, when you have these visual reminders, the construction going up and down Taggart Street, the EPA having a work site there, until those kind of visuals are completely removed, I think that there's still going to be this feeling that something happened.
In some ways, knowing that the local mayor is more concerned about alcohol consumption is a sign that maybe things are returning to normal. Do the folks you talk to there think they've received the attention they need, though, from Norfolk Southern and politicians, either at the state or federal level, both in terms of the monetary and environmental assistance?
It's a bit of a mixed bag. I think you know, Norfolk has donated. They've spent $800 million in remediation efforts. They've spent $60 million on community initiatives. I think another 16 on family assistance alone. So they've certainly put some money towards this effort and have kind of kept their word. I think residents aren't so much concerned about the dollar amount that they've received. I've heard a couple that have you know, been concerned about the process to get refunds, things like that. They say that they kind of have to go through a lot of hoops to get the reimbursement that, you know, they deserve. That, you know, some folks have obviously been out of work, their homes have been affected, things like that. So there is a bit of concern about kind of the process they've had to go to. But you know, talking to the mayor, for all intents and purposes, I think Norfolk has sort of kept their word up that they said they would.
So you had mentioned that about 200 people left and sold their homes. Did Norfolk Southern buy their homes, or who did they sell their homes to?
The people came in and bought them. I think there's been a renewed interest of, you know, people thinking that it's safe to come back to East Palestine, and they've certainly gotten good prices, so they've been comfortable doing that.
I wasn't sure if maybe that was part of kind of the chunk of money that Norfolk Southern had sort of dished out to them. If they said, listen, if you want to leave, you know, we'll help you do that. The other question that I just wanted to ask you, too, is I remember at the time, it may have been the mayor or someone else suggesting to residents there, go to your doctor now and get a checkup, because we don't know what the long-term implications are health-wise, and you should know where you're at health-wise right now. Are people talking about the long-term implications the long-term possible risks when it comes to their health, or is that gone by the wayside as well?
No, they definitely still are. That's really the thing that's going to be left here. You know, a couple months down the road, all the construction's going to be done. It's basically going to be a village that looks, you know, exactly how it did before the derailment happened. But the health impact is going to just linger on for years. And you know, they were told to go see their doctor initially. Certainly, there's concerns that, you know, they could get cancer or lung issues down the road. The Ohio Department of Health set up a clinic in town that many residents kind of viewed as just sort of a dog and pony show. It didn't really, you know, cater to their needs. So the health impact is the thing that's going to linger on for this for years to come, and they're going to be talking about it for a long time.
Brooks Sutherland, really interesting. Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.